Hey everybody, welcome to Trading the Close. My name is Gareth Soloway here at verifiedinvesting.com. And oh boy, get ready. We're on the verge of Google and Tesla earnings just about to hit in the after hours here. I'm going to cover them live as they come out. We'll be looking at the charts, the movement, the levels as well, plus a lot of other charts that are reporting or stocks that are reporting. Texas Instruments, Seagate Technologies, both of those are chip stocks. Not as big as NVIDIA, but nonetheless will have an impact tomorrow on how the chips, these semiconductors trade. Visa reports after the bell. ENPH. ENPH is always a great mover on earnings, so I'm looking forward to potentially being able to day trade that either in the after hours or tomorrow in or during the Apex Live day trading room. So let's get started here, guys. What do we have going on? Let's cover the market key data points. Then we have the Dow today trading just fractionally lower. Remember, yesterday we had a big rally in the markets. Today, much more of a muted market. All right, so Dow again down 86 points. NASDAQ is up 18, which is essentially flat for that index. S&P 500 down about 11 points. Oil taking a nice little hit, breaking that key support at $78 per barrel. Gold is up just ever so slightly after the big dip earlier last week or late last week, and Bitcoin taking a hit, 65,500. We will absolutely look at that chart today as well. So let's go right into the action here on the actual chart of the S&P 500. This is the intraday chart showing us what is going on. Look at what's happening here. This is nervousness right now going into the end of the day. A little bit of a 10-minute sell candle to end the day, basically bringing us down not to the lows of the day, but kind of getting closer to that. After the float up throughout the mid portion of the day, you're getting some, again, unloading into the end of the day because of those earnings announcements. Remember, investors are very wary, at least smart investors. They know the markets are overbought. Google must deliver a rock star quarter. Tesla's trading at levels where it's really all about the robo-taxi and maybe a few of their other AI initiatives, and so they have to deliver. Both of these companies must deliver stellar reports to continue to see upside. We will find out. But you can see, again, early in the day, a lot of chop, some sideways chop here, and then throughout the course of the day, just kind of a little bit of a fade on the S&P 500. All right, so let's go into some of these other charts here. What is Google looking like here? Nice little sell on Google into the end of the day here. So again, who knows what it does on earnings, but nice little downtick right here. I will be keeping an eye on it in the after hours. We still have about 2 minutes to go until the markets close. Then we should start getting some of these key reports out. Now let's flip to the daily chart on Google because I want to kind of take a look at what we've been seeing. So the first thing that strikes me, if we look at this, we have a trend line right here, which looks to me to have broken. So again, if we look at this, right, we see this chart, this trend line going back to March of 2024, pivot low right here, pivot low right here, and then right here was a breakdown, a little retrace. Now, sometimes on a retrace, you go back to the scene of the crime, so there's always that chance, but overall, to me, this would be concerning, the fact that it's broken its uptrend that it started back in March, when it was really before that, right? If you look at prior to March, it was just a whole lot of this. Then it got its bull move. Now it's again broken that key kind of trend line. So we're going to watch and see what those earnings do, but nonetheless, the stock is selling a little bit here into the end of the day. Maybe some big money. Maybe they know something. Maybe they don't. I guess we'll find out in just a couple minutes. 1 minute to go until the market closes. Tesla's chart, same thing. A little bit of sell-side action today. If we flip over to the daily chart, this is that amazing chart, which was one of the craziest wedge patterns I've ever seen in the stock market on a mega cap tech. Notice, again, goes back to the lows of 2020. Here's your high, which was your all-time high. We did break above it here, so you did get a breakout, but the question is, can it hold the breakout, or does it need to retrace to like 225, which would be a key support or a retrace to the scene of the crime? In fact, let me zoom in on that here so we can take a look. If we zoom in on that wedge pattern, we can see that really for the last 2 weeks, it's been chopping sideways above that trend line. That's actually not a bad sign. That's actually an okay thing. Doesn't mean it's going to go up for sure, but ultimately it at least tells you that it's trying to hold this technical level here, and it has thus far, maybe even building a little bit of a bull flag. But I will say this, is that Elon Musk must deliver something special here, right? So again, it's not just deliveries, it's not just the revenue numbers. He's got to deliver some sort sort of vision that is going to excite people enough to say, okay, the stock's up basically almost 100% since April. How does it go up more than that? How does it go towards that $1 trillion valuation? We're going to watch and see right now. All right, let's go to the intraday charts here. We don't have anything out, but we are looking here. This is Tesla on a 10-minute chart. Let's flip over to Google. Let's see what Google's doing here. So far, nothing major on Google yet. Earnings not out. ENPH, here's ENPH's intraday chart here in the after hours. Nothing going on there yet. And again, we literally just had the markets closing, so I'm just flipping through these charts. Texas Instruments, Seagate Technologies. Again, so far, nothing major, but let's keep a close eye on these. All right, couple other things to go over while we're waiting. Let's go over the Bitcoin chart. Bitcoin pulling back nicely today. So again, you can see nice little down day here, trading around 65,500. Again, the question I have, and this is a question that most technicians would have, is this a pullback before that next leg up into here? Or is it going to be a more substantial pullback? We don't know yet. All we can do is follow the charts and the levels. One thing I do see is we have good support right down here. So right around 62 to 63,000, if it does pull back there, that will be a big level to watch. Can Bitcoin hold there? If it does, you favor the upside. You favor a move to 70, 72, maybe 74,000 on Bitcoin. All right, flipping back again, guys. I'm just going to keep going back and forth to these charts as we are awaiting some of these earnings numbers from Tesla and Google. ENPH, so far nothing on that one. Again, that's a big mover usually in the after hours when those numbers come out. It looks like Visa may have reported here. I'm just looking at the price action, and so far a little bit of a move up. Remember, Visa's not a big mover on earnings. You know, it's kind of old trusty. It's credit cards. It's not nothing crazy. They usually deliver solid numbers. If they miss, it's by a little bit. But right now, again, that little gyration is telling me that investors are trying to digest the numbers that may have just hit. All right, let's go to the oil chart here, guys. So as long as we're waiting, this is an oil chart. I annotated it earlier. Notice again, I wanted to show you guys again how I got to the top pivot where I called the high pivot right here on oil. High pivot right here, simply connect it to that high pivot, gives you that downsloping line. Take the lows here, all along here, right? And just drag that up. It becomes the highs right in here, and it cross sections right there. That when two lines kind of cross it, what we call like X marks the spot, that tells you there's major resistance. And look at the price of oil has really come down substantially. And again, where's it going? Well, we just do the same thing, right? We take a trend line, we drag it right from that low here right to this low, the low going back to June, and that should be an area of where major support comes in. Now, is that the low longer term? No, this is all about short-term levels where the market may bounce at that point. I don't really talk about long-term except maybe in some of my macro, but that for the most part is something that I just talk about versus trade off of. All right, let's flip back. Let's see what Tesla's doing. All right, Tesla is dumping a little bit here. Nothing major yet, though. Let's go to Google. Whoa, Google, nice fall, guys. Look at this fall on Google. So beautiful little dip on Google. Got down to 174 right there. So again, nice little dip on Google. Earnings are out. Obviously, right? And again, when you see this type of price action, you guarantee whether you've seen the press release or not, earnings are out. 175 right here. One of the reasons why I was favoring some downside on this, and we talked about it, not only was the chart telling us potentially downside, but also just the mere aspect that if you turned on the TV, CNBC, Bloomberg, Fox Business, almost every analyst was like, oh man, they're going to just do so well. When every analyst is saying that, it gets everyone too bullish and everyone's buying, and it leaves room or a little bit of a door opening for a kind of a miss where expectations have gotten too high. And again, we're seeing it bounce back up a little bit, but it'd be interesting to see where it goes. If it ends here, this honestly is a minimal move. Down here, it was a decent move, so we'll have to watch and see. Notice that initially it looks like it popped to 186 before dumping out, but nonetheless, pretty nice stuff on that front. Okay. So that's where we are at this stage here, starting to see a bounce back up. Let's flip over to Tesla. Tesla, same thing, a little bit of a dump on Tesla. It almost looks like it's trading with Google, which is kind of interesting. Maybe it is. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to watch and see. But same thing on Tesla starting to come back up here. Let's go back to a couple other charts. ENPH, so far nothing. A lot of these may report at 405, which is just about to hit right now. And we are starting to see, guys, Visa starting to uptick a little bit. All right, it is 405. Let's see what we get here. I'm keeping an eye on Tesla, which is starting to downtick just a little bit here. Let's go to Texas Instruments. All right, Texas Instruments, nice little move here from a close of around 199 up to about 207. Percentage-wise, nothing crazy there, but nonetheless a little bit of a move. That might be a small positive for semiconductors tomorrow, but then we turn our attention to STX. Initially was up, now it's coming back to the flat line in the after hours, and we'll watch that very closely. Quickly, ENPH, there you go. There's ENPH starting to make a move. See, this is a good mover. So it just went from a close of 103 to 114. It's about a 10% move right there. Let's see if it continues up. If it does, where would a shortable level be? I mean, maybe at 120, 119, you have this pivot top on the daily chart. But again, be very careful with this one. It has a history of major moves. I've seen it up or down 20% very often intra after hours on earnings. But nonetheless, that is getting a little bit of a pop right there. It is coming in a little now, so we'll keep an eye on that. Tesla, not much going on Tesla at this point. Google has now flipped and now is flat on the after hours, even slightly positive. So a little bit of an uptick on that one right there. And then let me just see if there's anything else on the radar here as we go to Visa. Ooh, Visa's selling a little bit. This is actually not a bad sell-off on Visa. It's only about $5, but for Visa, that's a decent move. We'll see if it holds in the after hours there. All right, let me just go back to at TXN, Texas Instruments, still up. Seagate. So both semiconductor stocks in the after hours are up a little bit. Not huge, but nonetheless, you can see Seagate, which had originally come back down, is now pushing up just a little bit in the after hours. Let me just quickly go to Tesla. Tesla is selling. So again, so far it is selling off on earnings. Not a huge drop either, but it is coming back down. And still checking in on Google real quick right here. We are seeing it continue to kind of grind back up just a little bit. All right, let me see if there's anything else I want to cover here. So I do want to briefly go over gold. We'll just touch on gold real quick. I can always do one more check-in on these earnings levels. But so far, you know, in terms of major volatility, I'm not seeing anything that's unbelievably exciting. It might change in the after hours when guidance and conference calls go on. But just touching on gold real quick here, what we did see on gold was a small bounce today, minimal bounce here. I still think I'm watching to see, are we making a bear flag? Something like this, in which case you favor a move down there, or can it get a bigger reversal to the upside? Right now, we've got the beginnings of maybe a bear flag there. Silver, same sort of thing, held its technical support right here. Look at this, right there, and got a little bit of a bounce, ended up positive on the chart there. Natural gas had a small pullback today, but nothing major on the charts there. All right, last check on Google here, guys. Let's see what's going on in the after hours. Again, minimal price action on Google, almost a non-event. Tesla got down to 239, starting to bounce back to about 244. And if we look at ENPH, ENPH has come back in. So went to 114, back to 107. That is giving up some gains. Visa's coming back to the flat line. And we're still seeing Texas Instruments up okay, although off of its highs, as well as Seagate Technology. Holy cow. Man, earnings season, guys. Every day this week, well, not Fridays. I take off Fridays, but there's no after-hour earnings on Fridays. But, guys, I'm here mornings, game plan, covering earnings, levels, trading opportunities. Afternoons at 3:55, trading the close. That's what Verified Investing is about, giving you guys the insights, the live, real-time analysis on what is going on, and I'm going to do it every day this earnings season. It's only going to get crazier as we get into more mega caps reporting. You guys have a great day. I'm going to go trade a little bit. Talk to you soon. Take care.